If I could grow a magical plant, I could grow a magical plant that can build a big house because it provides shelter. When I grow up, I want to be a farmer so that I can improve my environment.
If I could grow a magical fruit, I could plant a tree so that it can produce me with timber. When I grow up, I would be a farmer because I want to provide the people who does not have food.
If I could grow a magical plant, I could grow a cotton because it is used in hospitals. When I grow up, I want to be a farmer because I want to help my society.
If I could grow a magical plant, I could grow a chapati so that I can eat.
Concentration is the game. Keep the reading if you can.
Daniela, Ruth, Travis, Daniela, Nelson, Oswald, Idira.
Hello kids, welcome to Watoto Shambani. This is Gathanje Primary School. Yay!
My name is Mr. Kariuki from Fire Eco Farm. Today I'm going to take you through big and small interview from Fire Eco Farm.
We are going to learn about sweet potatoes. It is important because it is indigenous food. Hello, expert Karaoke. Which is the best manure for sweet potato?
Okay, the most important manure for sweet potato is organic manure. One thing, but there are different farmers. Some farmers use the synthetic ones, that is fertilizer that you buy from the agrovet. But the most important thing is organic manure. And we have three types of organic manure. We have compound manure, vermiyard manure, vermicompost manure, and we have the ordinary one from the animals. We have the chicken manure, cow dung, pig manure. Those are the manure that are most important when planting the sweet potato. The organic one produces a very suitable sweet potato than the other side of synthetic fertilizers.
How do we deal with weeds in sweet potato farming?
The process of weeding during the sweet potato is very simple because we pick physical removing. We don't use some tools to weed, or if you have to use, you don't use the sharp one because the sweet potato comes up as the lulls of your sweet potato look like. So you have to farm very carefully. But the spacing of the sweet potato gives a farmer a space to do farming without harming the tubers of the sweet potatoes.
What are the varieties of sweet potatoes?
There are 4 different in Fire Eco Farm. Purple one, white, the purple, orange, white, and the red one. So the purple one, there are 2 types of one. It is pure purple. The second one is purple with white. The pure purple contains vitamin A, but with white one contains vitamin A plus, vitamin D, and the rest. So the orange one, it is very important because it contains vitamin D. So the difference is it depends with the customer. Some customer will say, I need a purple, I need orange, I need white, and I need a yellow one. When you visit the market, the orange moves fast than the rest because of it is beneficial, because of healthy benefit.
How can we protect our sweet potatoes from bad weather?
When we are having the drought or the heavy rainfall, we protect sweet potato by one thing. One, a sweet potato is a cover crop. So when there is a lot of heat, we use water to prevent from being affected by the weather. But when there is a heavy rainfall, we dig some trenches around to control the movement of water. But since the sweet potato is a cover crop, it is not affected in 100%. It will be affected in the 10 to 5%. It's not like other veg or vegetables in the field.
Hello, expert Karaoke. What is the importance of crop rotation?
When you are crop rotating the sweet potato, one thing, you cannot plant a sweet potato where there was another plant, the family of tubers. You have to change. For example, in Fire Eco Farm, if you can see, you have sweet potatoes and tomatoes. Those are two different, because sweet potato grows the soil, under the soil. The most important to control them, they are going to be affected by the microorganisms that affect the tubers. For example, the white worm, not the red worm. The white worm affected sweet potatoes very much. And the worms, some worms are, the reason that we change is sweet potato have the capability of killing some microorganisms that affect some other plant.
How can we save sweet potatoes for planting next season?
We use cutting like this one. Then after cutting them, we preserve them for 3 to 4 days before we plant. And those are the cuttings that are going to be used in. You can keep them even a month. It depends on how you keep them. If you have a plastic polythene paper, you can store them there. After a month, you will see they have started producing some roots, white roots. Those are very good to preserve. That's how most of farmers do. But most of them, they put it under a tree where there is a shade to protect them from the sun.
How can children take care of their sweet potatoes at home?
Yeah, for example, when you are teaching the children how to take care for their sweet potato, mostly we train them using the container because it's one thing at a time. But when you take a kid to a big farm, he will not understand the fact. But when you teach him on how to use the container to plant a sweet potato, you train him how to add manure, to mix with the soil, to protect the microorganism and to produce a very healthy sweet potato.
Which is the best way to store sweet potato once harvested?
You are supposed to store them in a very cool and not wet place. Because for one thing, if you want for a long-term sweet potato for the security of the food during when you are not harvesting, you have to use them. For example, we at Fire Eco Farm, we dry them. We use our dryer to dry them, then we make them a flour for the purpose of the future seasoning.
Which challenges are faced by sweet potato farmers?
The challenges that face the sweet potato farmers, one, lack of the knowledge that is the lack of education on how to plant the sweet potato. The other thing, lack of different varieties of sweet potato. Like for us, Fire Eco Farm, we have to travel to Murang'a County to get some vines for sweet potato, purple and orange one. But the red one and white one, they are locally available. But the most challenges that faces most to the urban area, it is lack of water, lack of proper management, and also they lack something we call the IPM, Integrated Pest Management System. That means a farmer doesn't understand how the sweet potato is being planted, taken care of. After that, after harvesting, where will I get in? That is the challenge of marketing.
How do sweet potatoes benefit in the environment?
Sweet potatoes are the best for friendly to ecosystem. For example, they prevent the soil erosion. It's like a cover crop. So either there is rain or sunshine, they prevent the loss of the soil. Other thing, planting sweet potato using organic manure, you protect the microorganism to the soil. That is the most important thing for sweet potato because sweet potato doesn't affect the microorganism because of you cannot use a fertilizer to grow sweet potato because of the taste and the end result of the fruit.
How does sweet potatoes grow?
Okay, the sweet potato, we plant the cutting from the main branch of the sweet potato, but they grow depending on the variety. There are some varieties that go through 8 months, others 4, others 2. For example, the purple one, sweet potato, it is for 2 months. The white one, it is for 4 months. But the orange one, it goes 2.5 months. And the most important thing you're supposed to know about the sweet potato, it is they are different beneficially to the consumers. For example, we have the purple one for vitamin A. But for the orange one, people use them for crepes.
Does sweet potatoes need a lot of sunlight and water?
When you're planting the sweet potato, you have to consider some things because it is a plant that requires a lot of water, but not as much as you can think. But at least you have to do irrigation. For example, during the sunshine or during the dry season. Planting sweet potato in the area where we are at Kiambu, it doesn't require a lot of water because it is a rain season area. So you have 2 seasons of rain. For example, the purple one for 2 months, it doesn't require any water for irrigation.
What are some of the pests and diseases that attack sweet potatoes?
The good thing when you're doing agriculture or organic farming in sweet potato, they are not much affected by pests and diseases. But there are some diseases that affect sweet potato. For example, we have the blight affects sweet potatoes. We also have the white worm, not the red worm. The white worm affects sweet potato, cutworm. Also, we have the pests like aphids. They also affect the leaves of the potato. It depends with the types of sweet potato. The leaf broad potato are most affected, depending with the others. Like the purple one is not much affected because of its color.
Hello, expert Karaoke. How do you know if sweet potatoes are ready to grow?
There is a specific sign that a sweet potato will show you. The first thing, when they are young, they are bright green in color. But when they are grown, you will see the color changing to yellowish, orange. But that doesn't mean that it is growing. You have to be keen because there are some affected by aphids and they change the color. But once you see the whole farm, if you planted at the same time, you will see the color is changing, not because of lack of water, but they have already grown. Then, when you remove some leaves, you will see some cracks on the soil. So when you use your hand to dig a bit, you will see sweet potato grown there. Welcome back. I'm going to show you how to plant sweet potato from your own farm and how we prepare the land for the sweet potato. First thing, you must understand the type of the soil you are using. Sweet potato require loam soil because of the water. It loses water very easily than the clay soil. The other thing you need to understand, you have to make some heaps on your farm and understand the type of the farm. Either it is slopey, flat, or hilly. You have to understand things like that because of the sweet potato is a cover crop. So it requires a space which is either it is hilly or slopey, you can do with it. But the first I'm going to show you how to plant the sweet potato using the hilltop soil. For example, like this one. You're going to make some lines, and you make the soil to be hilly a bit, because sweet potato require soft and fine soil. For the best of your knowledge, we are using chicken manure. It is this one, the yard. And we are going to plant the lead fresh sweet potato. We are not the rest, we are going to use them as we continue. So the first thing, you make your soil to be a hill like that one. Then you apply the manure to the loose as it applies now. Sweet potato is a heavy feeder plant and it requires a lot of manure. After that, before you plant, you turn your soil. So it might look like tiresome, but you have to do it. So after that, I'm going to show you how to plant the sweet potato that we are having today. They are here, the cuttings. I told you they are cutting that we use. And you have to use the top cutting because the way they are, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one and this one you remove. The sweet potato are going to come out here, and the roots. Each root is a sweet potato. So the tubers are going to come to these two covers. So the first thing I'm going to make my kids understand about planting sweet potato is you plant up to here. So the first thing you do is like that one. So you see how it is done? That is the first thing. And you space according the type of the sweet potato that you're planting. Because this one is a white fresh sweet potato, we are going to plant it with 6 inches each, a space of 6 inches. So I will give my kids each to plant. first one. Yeah. The difference must be 6 inches to each. Yes, like that one. The second one. Yeah. Yes, like that one. So the reason why we are planting like that one, because we have already put organic manure under. So you have to use your hand to reach the manure. So the fourth one here. Thank you. That one here. And the last one there. So as you can see, we have already planted our cutting from the sweet potatoes, and they are good. This type we have planted is the red fresh sweet potato. And the most important thing we have to understand about planting sweet potato is because they bring the healthy benefit to the children, to the family, and to the society. So if you teach your children on how to plant sweet potato, it's organic plant, it is indigenous plant also, it prevents the ecosystem, it also healthy to them as they grow up. So the application of the sweet potato covers everyone in the family. As we continue on about the sweet potato, mostly we refer our community to use organic manure. Reason being, when you apply chemical manure or synthetic manure, like fertilizer that you buy to the store, it affects even the taste of the sweet potato. So the best thing to plant and using it is organic manure. You have different types of organic manure. You have vermicompost manure, you have compound manure, farmyard manure. Like us, we have used farmyard for the animal chicken. So application of this fresh sweet potato will cover, and it's a good for food security for our country. As we move on, this sweet potato, if it's planted for long, it takes about 3 to 4 months to be harvested. After harvesting, you can store it, you make flour, so it is a good crop for food security to our country. When there is drought, we use them as a food. When there is rain, we still use it. So when we don't have much about the food and we are lacking some stuffs in our home, we can use sweet potato as our breakfast instead of buying bread. This one is much cheaper because 4 of them goes for 100. A piece of bread is allowed 70 shillings nowadays. So it is good to use sweet potatoes and train our kids on how to do farming in our farm, because after they finish their school, they are going to come to understand that the farming is like any other job as the people moves on as we grow, because not everyone can fit in office. So it is good to teach our kids on how to plant sweet potato to our farm and how to train them to become the best farmers in future. According to the food security, also the sweet potato is good in food security because it is good and healthy, because like the purple one and the white one, and the orange one, they contain vitamin A, which is good for our kid and for the other peoples of the society. So as our kids grow up, they are going to learn much about the farming and the skills that are applied in sweet potato plantation according to the weeding, watering. After planting sweet potato, if there is a lot of sun or heat, you can apply water. It requires a lot of water to make some tubers, some roots, so that it depends with the size of your customer or your family, the size that you want to produce. That is the fact thing that you are supposed to consider when planting. You can also apply some technique like planting some vine on bucket instead of using farm. For example, instead of using this one, we can apply a certain technique that is called container planting. This is a system that is applied nowadays. For example, for the people that doesn't have farms, they can use a container to plant some sweet potato. For example, the example that I'm going to show you here, it is how we can plant using the container instead of farm, because not all farmers, and you have to mix very well the soil together with the manure. You mix it very well. So we say, for example, I don't have a piece of land and I don't know where to grow my sweet potato. So when you go home or your backyard, you see there is a space that you can put a container. So the best thing, you mix the soil with the manure, then we apply. It is going to be one. To each container, it will contain one, because of the, the production. It can produce more than 5-6 pieces. So you cannot plant 2 on that such a container. So this is another method that you can use. If you don't have a piece of land, you can apply this method and it is very easy to control. And yet you will going to have the pieces of crops to be planted. And I think the planting, the 2 methods can help you back to your home and can also uplift the children. So the children, the 2 methods are good to apply, okay? Yes, you can apply this one or that one to your farm or to your place where you can use the container. So do not waste the container. You recycle the containers that are found on your home. So this is very important when you use the container instead of that one. Unless you have a very big piece of land, okay? Or a small one. But if you don't have, you use the piece of container. That is mostly in the plastic one. Do not apply in metallic, okay? Metallic has zinc, it will apply and it is going to be affected by bacteria and it will react because of water, oxygen and iron, okay? But if you use this one, the plastic one, they are going to be very good for your vine. And it is each to every container, okay? So you can go home and show your parents on how to plant on container because they know how to plant on their farm, okay? So the new method of soil heaping, it is very important because you are loosening the soil. So the tubers will become big for you to harvest. After 3 to 4 months, you come and harvest. Use this instead of bread in the morning, okay? You tell mom, let us have this one instead of bread. 4 of them goes for 100 and a piece of bread goes for 70. So it is good to apply for the piece of. Okay, the main mistake that most people do when planting sweet potato is one, they lack good variety the good variety to plant. They also lack the knowledge on how to plant the sweet potato. One thing you need to understand is the soften and the type of the soil. For example, ours is loam soil. The type of soil that you are going to plant on, ours is loam soil. So the next thing, if you lack the knowledge of understanding how to plant the sweet potato, you can either plant any, and most of them goes to 8 months. But nowadays we have for 2 months, like the yellow, and this white one for 3 months. So that's the mistake they make. Also, the other thing that affect farmers, it is a lack of water. But for nowadays, you can use spring irrigation using the spring. You can water your sweet potato as they grow. So by that, children now can know how to plant their sweet potatoes back at their homes.